assembly.
Yes.
The reason was...
Chair, you are talking to the entire committee. We want to hear, so don't just whisper.
Your answer.
Yeah.
Your witness.
Your
answer should be chair.
Yes.
And then you answer. So that because you are talking to the committee chaired by a chair.
Chair, I'm sorry about that. The Minister of Trade then, CCM, was one Philip Momo, was impeached by the county assembly. I don't know when the year was, I think, but by then it left the Ministry of Trade. And the reason why he was impeached was his papers were questionable.
So now, after the impeachment, did he go to Kikotek to perform any duties in Kikotek?
Not, Chair, not any incidents I'm aware of.
But Chair, I will make two comments and then for me I will be done. One, here is a chief officer for trade under which Kikotek lies. He knows everything else, including shillings and cents on the money that went into Kikotek, but he doesn't know that the institution has a problem in terms of land ownership with Siongela Youth Polytechnic. That's just a matter to note. And don't forget, Chair, he's doing it under oath. Secondly, Chair, this committee has been presented with two witnesses. The CEO of Siongela Youth Polytechnic and a former board member, Mr. Brian, who I will say on record, Chair, are poster boys of how a rogue executive arm of the county government can manipulate, intimidate, and harass officers to perform duties outside of the law. Chair, and when we retreat, and if it pleases you, we will make available details of how actually Kikotek, and that's where I began, Kikotek, was fair and square, a special purpose vehicle whose only intention was to siphon money from the county government of Kitui. That, Chair, evidence, some of it is before you. You've heard of how people literally invaded land and took it away. What that lady not tell you, and as I conclude, Chair, is that in fact there were very, very concerted efforts to close Siongela Youth Polytechnic and transfer all the students to Wanzoa Youth Polytechnic, which is more than 15 kilometers from Siongela, so that the gravy train could gain momentum. Chair, I submit.
Very well. As the chair, I also have a right to interrogate this witness as a final person before I move to EACC. Mr. Witness, you indicated to this committee that the monies that used to come from the county government were through your department. Do you still hold that view?
Yes, Chair.
That all the monies that came to the department, came to this Kikotek, were through your department?
clarity. Maybe I need to clarify, Chair.
Yes.
There was no money that was transferred to Kikotek, but the money that was allocated to the Ministry of Trade.
Yes.
Was
in
voted,
terms of equipment.
Yes,
and all that.
the money was allocated to the Ministry of Trade, which procured the items. Then they were transferred to Kikotek when Kikotek was formally gazetted and became an independent unit.
Right. Were you allocated COVID-19 money? And for what purpose?
Yes, there was some funds that were allocated to us by the county assembly, by the executive, and it was, I think, it was 55 million shillings. And this money, according to the approved budget, we were supposed to procure some items for Kikotek.
So what business did Kikotek have with COVID-19? What were you manufacturing there?
Kikotek started as a uniform production unit, and we were targeting schools, primary and secondary schools in the county, because most of the uniform was coming outside the county. Then when COVID broke out, Kikotek transformed into production of PPEs, that is a face mask, scrubs, and some other items. We had orders from all over the country.
Which means you made quite a significant amount of money.
I can say so. There were some sellings that we made some sales, because we were doing the main source of income was even today, I think, is the Kenya Police, because we were making uniform for them. We had Kenya Police, we had the Kakamega County.
Now I'm coming to Kenya Police. That I will come to. But committee members, I think this matter of COVID will need to look at it deeper.
Okay.
Because as Senator Wambua said, this company, possibly, it was a conduit to steal money from the county. Now, tell us about the tenders you got from the national government.
Yeah.
The huge tenders you got from the national government.
Yeah.
And then proceed to tell us where the money is. Because we have looked at your financial performance, we don't seem to see that money.
What I remember is we had orders from the Ministry of Interior to produce chief's uniform, and I think DC's uniform, if I'm not wrong. We had orders from the Kenya Police. We had orders from Kakamega County, Kiambu County, Mombasa, and I'm not sure that we did for KWS. I think there's a time we had a negotiation with KWS. They all paid. I think there are some counties that has not, even Kisumu County we did. But Chair, I do not have the nitty-gritties of that information. If I knew this information would come up, I would have asked the management.
We have just read the law, your own law that talks about accountability.
Yes.
Where you and the chair and the board members, you are accountable. And we are asking you, you got big orders. You know how many chiefs are in this country? How many chiefs do you think we have in this country?
I don't know.
Assistant chiefs and the chiefs and all those people. There are many. And you are given an order to do for them their uniforms. So the question we are asking, where is that money? In your financial report, where is that money?
Chair, and on behalf of the board, the money, what was paid, can be traced to the account of Kikotek and to the financial record of the Kikotek. As we speak now, I do not have the nitty-gritties, but if it is needed, we can provide that information. It is in the office.
Honorable members, I think we will not proceed further. I will be giving directions on what we are going to do next. In fact, the other witness, the chairperson, you are not off the hook yet. We will have another session to grill you. But I want to make several directives. Number one, that we would like the county government to provide to this committee a complete certified bank statement starting from the date when the accounts were open to present. Certified bank statement for the two bank accounts, the revenue account and the operational accounts. Because what has been provided here is only for 2 months. That is not adequate for members to interrogate. Number two, we would also want to be given the specific procurement plan for this Kikotech, the relevant procurement documents, especially the ones procuring the equipments and the constructions and all that, and the relevant budgets which were approved by the county assembly. That should be provided to us. The budget for all the affected financial years from 2018 to 2021 to the period under which the amount of 168 million is covered. So that should be provided. Number three, the clerk has indicated to me that all the summons were sent out to all the people who are to appear, all the persons who are to appear before this committee, including the former governor and the board members and the Siongila. I have noted that all the other witnesses have come, except the former governor. So we are again going to issue fresh summons for her to appear before us. And on that day of appearance, Governor, we are going to excuse you. We will have the board members and the entire CEC team that was there. Because the CEC team that was there, they have been implicated in the takeover of the land. Governor, I think you will still have to come. Accompany your former colleague to come. The other directive is that all the other people who have been mentioned, including Georgina Musembi, the summons should be sent to Georgina Musembi, Henry Kimanzi, and Faith Mona to appear on the same day. Now, this is the second time we are issuing summons to the former governor to appear, and if she will not appear, the other consequences will follow. So those are the directives.
Just on a point of order.
Yes.
Just on a point of order. Legal, could you explain to this committee how the summons were served to all these members who came here, and also with the former governor, so that we make sure that whichever service you use, there is a certificate of service?
Chair, we have the affidavit of service. You could give me maybe just a few minutes to just extract it. It will give us the details as to how service was done.
Yeah, let us give a few minutes.
Yeah, point of order.
What is your point of order?
My point of order is that in the request for all the financial statements, Chair, may I also plead that we get list of all signatories to those accounts from inception to 2021, all signatories. If there's any changes, let that will be clear. And with the resolution of mandate for all those signatories, there is resolution of mandate for each and every signatory, so that we are sure about the withdrawals that have been made.
The signatories, in fact, that was one of our earlier directives. I don't know whether those signatories appeared today. They are here. There were 2 signatories who were summoned to appear. They were all CECs. Are they here? CEOs?
Yeah, CEOs. I think you should be here. According to the, through you, Mr. Chairman, according to the Auditor General's report,
Yes.
FY 21-22, they questioned why the CEOs are the signatories of the accounts of the entity called Kikotex. And they say that is against good corporate governance.
Yeah.
So it's the CEOs. And they need to say who they are. Because from what we were taught by the acting CEO, there are no signatories. I don't know whether that was true. Who are the signatories, in short?
I know the CEO was a signatory, the chief executive officer, and chief officers of trade, and chief officer of trade, and there must be another one who is, and finance. But two were to sign. Those were the what do you call it?
Chair, I don't want to put pressure on this. I want that in the submissions that you're going to have in the ruling that you have made, Chair, that be made very clear. All signatories, if there is any changes, indicate those, and most importantly, resolutions with regards to those signatories.
So you will provide us that information, but those signatories should also appear before the committee.
Yes.
On that day.
Just
Yes.
on a point of order, I'd like to request through you, Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
if it's possible. Governor, I think you're in the mission to make sure that you right what was wrong and make sure we put everything together, correct? Now, I've just perused the bank statements here. There are a lot of cash withdrawals. There are transfers from Kikotek, I don't know to where. May I request that you sit with your team, your finance team, and analyze the statements, but also submit the statement to us. But you create a spreadsheet where you write all the withdrawals by Georgina and everybody else, and then all the other transfers, so that we can be able to make sense. So that when you come here, it is easy, even before we give it to our team, for us to be able to know how much was withdrawn, and then when we're interrogating Georgina, we will know what was the money for. And in terms of that, I've heard your CEO saying that the authority was two to sign. I would like to know so that we are guided whether to also call the bank here, because if it is two to sign, to withdraw, we will need to know whether both of them withdrew or only one person withdrew, and how that worked.
Yeah, just a small follow-up on that, Chair. Through you, Mr. Wagi. Around May of 2020, you were still a chief officer, right? May 2020? May 2020, Were you a chief officer?
Yes.
You were. So you also a signatory to?
I was a signatory.
To the account, right? But Chair, I've just noticed that, without getting the details of it, just take note. On the 19th of May 2020, some 10 million was deposited in Kikote Corporation's account. And on the same day, several transfers from the same account. 1 million, 1.2, 1.1, 1.4. Just wondering.
Yeah, that ties into what Senator Ledama was saying.
Yes.
I do not want us to reopen that because we dealt with it extensively.
Otherwise, we just take
They are going to give us a summary
Yeah.
of cash withdrawals, how they withdrew money.
But
So now the legal, can you give us a status of the summons, affidavit of service?
Yes, Chair. I can confirm that the summons were served to Her Excellency, the former Governor, Honorable Charity Ngilu, through her number, which was duly received with double grade ticks, and this was done in line with the provisions of Order 5, Rule 22B of the Civil Procedure Amendment Rules of 2020. So yes, she was served.
So we can say she didn't honor our summons. So we are going to reissue fresh summons for her to appear before us. What's your point of order, Senator Miraj?
Another summon is a fine for not appearing and honoring the previous summon.
I'll go by what members decide.
No, Chair, let me just clarify that, and I think legal has to be here. The law under Section 19 of the Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Act gives that witness an opportunity. In fact, the law says that where a witness has been summoned and failed to appear, or appear but does not satisfy the committee, taking into consideration her status, the committee may post a file. So what I'm saying is that we have to do this thing correctly within the law. The witness has got to come here, and then once the witness is here, at that point is when we then determine to file. But if we do file now, when the witness is not here, it will not be fair. I don't know whether that's
in short, what it means.
No. Chair, we have
just
that
hold on. I think the best thing to do is to allow legal to read Section 19 of the Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Act.
Chair, the legal will guide, but we also have contributions to make. The legal will guide.
Just hold on.
You cannot find a witness if they are not
just give the legal an opportunity, and then I will give you an opportunity. Let's start with the legal, please.
Chair, I'm a vice chair of a committee too. So Senator Ledama Olekina should not assume that we are not well conversant with the standing orders.
I want us to be systematic.
They are well conversant.
Let the legal read, and then I'll give you an opportunity.
No, it's not fair for him to assume.
Chair, on a point of order.
No, Senator Ledama, you should not assume.
Nothing to do with
we are all members of this committee.
Being a vice chair of another committee, this has got to do with procedure.
Legal proceed.
So can you please read the procedure?
Chair, I have a point of order.
Yes.
Just allow me a point of order. You know, Chair, we were doing very well. The matter of at what point do fines set in,
Yes.
and at what point they don't set in.
Okay,
Chair.
understood. What I want us to do, let the legal give us all the options available, and then we can now discuss which option to go for. Just allow the legal to read out. Yeah.
Chair, through the chair, Section 19, if I may. Procedure if witness fails to appear. Subsection 1, where a witness summoned does not appear or appears but fails to satisfy the relevant House of Parliament or committee, the relevant House or committee may impose upon the witness such fine not exceeding 500,000 shillings, having regard to the witness's condition in life and all the circumstances of the case. 2, a person may pay the fine under subsection 1 to the clerk of the relevant House. And 3, Parliament or its committee may order the arrest of a person who fails to honor a summons.
Yeah. Now, Senator Wambua, you can
listen to me. You know, and I don't know why my very good friend, my brother, Senator Ledama Olekina, who is a ranking member in this House and a leader in the House, would want to take us in that direction, because he knows very well that there is precedence. In the last Parliament, on the same matter of the governor of Kitui County, she was fined for non-appearance under a summon. And you know, this is the way it goes. You are summoned, you are invited, you don't come, you are summoned, you don't appear, and then there is a consequence for non-appearance on account of a summon. What I'm hearing you saying is, now we will summon her again, and then if she doesn't appear on the second summon, there will be consequences. Are there no consequences for the initial non-appearance under summon? We did it before. We find, I'm not saying we should now. There's a precedent. If this committee decides they cannot do it, then they just can't do it.
Just to clarify what I said, I actually read from my mind here, section of the law, as it says, there's nowhere in my statement did I say that the witness should not be fined. All I said is that the witness will be summoned, but we follow the procedures. When the witness is sitting across here, then we can be able to deal with the matter of why she never appeared. And then at that point, this committee may, not shall, may fine that individual. That is the law, it's not me. And I think the law has just been read.
Chair.
Senator Miraj, I know you are in the mood of fining, but proceed.
No, you can even arrest. It is within the powers and privileges. Because the former governor did not send any communication to say why she's not going to appear today. It could be an even different scenario if there was communication. But he just didn't communicate back. So finding her was on the lesser side of punishing her non-appearance to this committee. So if we were to advise you, Chair, we should be arresting because there is no excuse or communication of her not honoring our summon. So Chair, you just go ahead and fine before we ask the IG to bring her here.
Senator Mutinda, I'm happy that is coming from women leaders.
Yes.
Because
yes.
I don't want to be crucified by feeder.
My former governor of Kitui has set a bad precedent. This house, this committee needs to be respected. A current governor of Kitui has appeared before this committee twice on the same matter with no delay. And yet, the substantive witness, who is the former governor of Kitui, has refused to even give any response in regards to this particular summons. The law is very clear, powers and privilege is very clear, the legal has read it out. And I think as a committee, we go to 19.3, which says, if a witness does not appear, the committee has mandate to give direction. And we give direction and say, arrest the witness. Let her appear through arrest. Even those monies, we are not interested.
Legal?
Chair, maybe before let's hear what...
Before legal, Senator Eddie.
Chair, you know this committee, President is set with the common practice. What I am humbly varying is what my senior said, that you fine or you offer a punishment under that section of the law when the person is seated here. My question would be, if you offer 3-4 summons and the person doesn't appear, would you still go and summon? The answer is no, right? So the thing is, I think that unless there's clemency, which happens in any court, right? Because now we are sitting under 125. When you are offered a summon, you receive the summon. My understanding is this: if you don't show up, we fine you, and then we can be able to invite you again, right? We can choose not to go to
the mouth is 2 years. All the mouth is 2 years.
Yes.
You appear.
Yes.
Under summon, Chairman.
Yes.
Unless there is compelling reason why you cannot appear, which reason then you communicate in writing.
Exactly.
In a situation where there is no written.
So I'm talking about a situation where there was no communication, which then basically translates to a disregard to what the communication was. And that disregard is what is punished under that law. Okay? That disregard is not punished when you appear here, it's punished when you don't show up here. So that we can choose to offer another summon and not punish, but under the law, we should punish and then offer another summon, or go to the higher degree, which is arrest and appear here and still be
just on a
fined.
And you see, ultimately, it is not Senator Ledama's Olikina way, which
The committee way.
It has to be the committee way. Yes. And this committee does not, operate on its own. They are presidents.
Yes.
In the last parliament, and that is why it is always important to have a legacy report. We did, when I was sitting in the Committee of Public Accounts Investment Committee, which has got a similar mandate to this committee, we did find 2 governors when I was sitting there. The governor of Kwale, when he was summoned and never appeared. The second time when he received new summons, when he appeared, the first matter which had to be dealt with was why did you fail? Why did you not appear? When he failed to satisfy the committee then fined him 200,000 shillings. Number 2, the former governor of Kitui, who is a subject of discussion here, suffered the same consequences. We invited her, she never appeared. When now we sent her new summons and she appeared, we first of all fined her for failing to. Let me say, you will say how you remember. We fined her 500,000 shillings and she paid that money to